Hey peoples, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Okay, so today is going to be very personal because on Instagram I made a poll. It was titled, I'm Bigender and how non-binary ideology almost ruined me. And today is going to be very personal, very vulnerable, very, very sad, honestly, because this was a really big struggle that I was going through when I was younger. And I honestly feel like that I was battling with gender dysphoria, honestly. I truly think that I was battling with gender dysphoria. And I think as I grew up, I really started to realize that maybe it wasn't that, or maybe it was just I just believed it. I don't really know. Um but we're going to talk about that today because I think it's really important, and maybe it could help someone else out there that feel the same way and, can understand my story or, you know, how I feel. So I think that's what we're going to talk about today and really just dissect it. So if you want to keep on watching, keep on watching. Let's get started. So I just want to say, ever since I was younger, I've always been very into feminine things. Like, I've always liked Barbie dolls. I always liked fashion. I've always been a boy that was feminine, but also I always liked masculine things. I would play basketball. I would play football. Even though I hated those things, I would do those things. I was always interested in soccer, even though I did not know anything how to play it. But for the most part, I was very into feminine things, growing up. And I think the first time that I was attracted to a guy was probably in fifth grade. And I was very confused and very I don't even know. I was very, I don't know, enthused over this guy that was my friend and stuff like that when I was younger. And and I didn't understand why. I just did, and I was always very different. I wasn't outwardly feminine like I am today, but I was I dressed masculine. Like my father was always putting me in masculine clothes, which I despised. I really despised clothes that didn't feel like me. And that's why as I got older, I started to wear more things that was that I like. He always wanted me to wear Jordans, those boxy Adidas and stuff like that. I was just so different. I was very different growing up. I feel like I was very different. I've always been very like assertive. I've always been very outspoken, even when I was a child. Like, I've never been the one to waver for what I believe and what I think. It's always been like this. It's always been me being outspoken. I think that's probably why I'm so interested and so geared to do what I do on YouTube, But as a child, I always like feminine things, and I'm just gonna skip to high school. I honestly think in high school, I think it was the first time I ever got to really come back into a male and female type of school. Because in middle school, I was in the all-boys school, which was very fun. I lived for the all-boys school. I was very gay, living my best life. I had gay friends. We all, we were just gay, the gay club, period. And I think once I got into high school, I started to feel more confused, I was 15, 16, probably around when I was 14, 15, 16, 17. That's when I went down this rabbit hole of trying to figure out myself even more and, try to combat whether or not was I a man or was I a woman? Am I both? What am I? I didn't understand. I like I was very feminine, and I would wear clothes that was like very feminine. I would try on clothes. I wouldn't try them out like in public. Like there's like this video where like I have this skirt. I made a sweater out of a skirt, and I would wear that around the house because I just felt like very like, oh, I feel like a girl in this. Like I felt like a girl, and I honestly think that I was going through a gender dysphoric like period of my time. I honestly really do. And it's crazy because I really went deep into the wrong path of like looking at many gender non-conforming people, a lot of trans icons on YouTube like Gigi Gorgeous or like you know many other ones. I probably put photos of them up that I remember watching, and I would just like be so enthused over them and like be like, wow, like I feel the same way. Like I used to play with Barbies. I love fashion. I love hair, makeup. I love things like that. Like I must be trans. I must be, or maybe I'm bigender. Dude, I swear to God, like when I was in high school, like I used to be okay with people calling me she, her. I used to be okay with, even he, him, because I used to go on the internet and look up these neo pronouns, at a young age. Like I'm really young. I'm really confused with myself. Like, even though I know who I am, I'm very confused with myself. I would go on the internet, try to look up like, what is the definition of a person that feels like they are both sexes? And I used to really think when I was my little 15, 16-year-old ass used to go on the internet, try to look up the definition of what bigender was, or like, am I bigender? Am I both sexes? And I would look up this, and I found something that was like, bigender is that you can be a man and a woman. And I honestly felt like I was when I was an adolescent. And it really takes me back so much to like how cringe and how hyper feminine I was. I mean, I still am feminine, but like I feel like I've grown into myself, you know? Like some days I'm masculine, some days I'm like kind of feminine, some days like it just is what it is. But I think now I know who I am. I know that I'm a man, I'm gay, and I like other men, and that's it. But I'm also feminine and masculine. And I think that growing up as a gay child, like I didn't grow up gay, okay? Like, okay, let's just stop right there, okay? I've honestly, here's my take on people being born gay. I don't think anyone's really born gay. I really don't think that. I think that it develops over time because of, I don't know, maybe the hormone imbalance and when we're in our mom's womb or some shit like that. It disrupts our hormones imbalances, or like our fucking, I don't know, our DNA or something. I don't fucking know, but I do feel like that's why people come out like, they have gender dysphoria as a young age, or like they feel like they like a different sex, a same sex when they're young and stuff like that. So I feel like I'm one of those kids like that developed it over time, and through puberty is when we become more confused and we start to, because I used to date a girl. I used to date a girl. I sure did. In second grade, third grade, fourth grade. I don't fucking know. I was like dating a girl. Like I liked the girl. Like it didn't last that long, but I didn't really like her like that. I really liked the guy, the friend. Like it just makes me go back and think about that kind of stuff. It's so funny. But anyways, yeah, like when I fell down that rabbit hole of being bigender, like I was very confused, and I really thought that I was both sexes. And I would dress in really tight clothing, like a lot of tight clothing, and wear like really tight pants, and I would even tuck. Like that's how crazy and confused I was when I was like 16, 17. I was very confused, and I started to tuck because I was watching YouTube videos about how to tuck and stuff like that, because I really thought that I was both sexes. And I was like, well, let me appear as a man, but also at the same time tucking. And then also I'm wearing these like masculine but also feminine clothes. I'm wearing tight clothes. I feel like a girl, but I'm also a boy. Like I really fell down that bi-gender, neo-pronoun, non-binary type of rabbit hole, and it really took a toll on me, honestly, because I was really battling with myself a lot, and I was really just so out of my mind where I really thought that, wow, I can be both sexes. But in actuality, really, I'm not. And what took me to stop thinking this way was Blair White. Like, Blair White saved me. Honestly, she saved me. And I think her explaining, in the most based and logical way that, you can be a gay man and loving feminine things, and you can also like masculine things too. It doesn't make you trans. And you don't have to be confused about your gender or anything like that. Um, it's okay to like feminine and masculine things. And I swear to God, when I was battling with that gender dysphoria and thinking that I was bi-gender when I'm not bi-gender at a very young age, it really opened my mind, and I was like, wow, like it's so crazy how, like, now as I think about it, it's like so crazy how easy it is for children, like we're kids, like I was a kid, go down the wrong rabbit hole and then end up in, like, to regret, you know, changing your body parts.
The amazing Chloe Cole. She is a former trans child who has come out and really been a warrior for children, standing up for them so that the same thing that happened to her does not happen to them.
When I was 11, I got my first phone, and that's when things really started to go down south. I would see a lot of stuff that made me even more conscious of my body, why don't I look like this? I don't even look like the girls in school. I felt like I looked like a boy more than anything.
How did you know that this was wrong?
I don't remember experiencing any regret until after my surgery.
Or, getting hormones at a very young age that can disrupt your natural growth of puberty. And it really makes me so sad because of today. I look at so many of these trans and non-binary children. They look so sad. They look so confused. Some of them are like body mod as fuck, have taken off their tits, and they're waiting for that, sex reassignment surgery. And I look at them, I'm like, wow, like, you seem so sad. You act happy, but you're fucking sad. I even see so many like these trans girls, like when they was young, they transition and they have like their vaginas that they've gotten, like they have so many issues. I used to follow them when they was boys.
So I just got diagnosed with vaginal stenosis. If you're confused, hi, I'm Zaya. I'm transgender. And like 8 months ago, I got bottom surgery or gender confirmation surgery. So I had a PP and now I have a vagina.
And when I see it, I'm like, wow, like, you've gotten fat. You don't love yourself anymore, really. You're over here sexually exploiting yourself on the internet. You're over here, being very woke and unattractive. And it's really mind-opening how sad our generation is in the light of trying to be, you know, accepting and loving and this and that. It's like, not really, deep down in the core, I think a lot of them were scared of being gay, like just a gay regular man. And you see in some of their language where they don't want, they make fun of gayness, they make fun of gayness. And
Fix you up straight away. Come on in the front door, leaving at the back door. We fucking gay.
They look down on homosexuals, you know what I mean? And these transsexuals, they that I feel like some of them get really jealous of people like me, especially when I speak out against the gender ideology and the wokeness behind this stuff. It gets really deep. And I used to scream, like when no one was home, I used to scream to God. I'd be like, why do you make me like this? Like, why do you make me like this? Like, I didn't ask to be gay. I didn't ask to feel like I'm two genders. Like, that's how I used to scream. Like, I don't really tell nobody this, but like I used to scream, like honestly scream, because I felt so like disgusted with myself, because I thought it was like wrong, you know? And I thought that I was like a degenerate person. Like, I thought because I like men and I like feminine things, I was like, oh my God, like I used to scream and go to war with myself. Like, it's really sad how now that's internalized homophobia. You you guys talk about internalized homophobia because I speak out against the woke ideology that almost made me trans, and maybe go down that rabbit hole. I was fighting to find who I was, and that's who I am today. A gay man that likes feminine things and just is who he is, you know? That's very outspoken and don't sugarcoat shit. That's who I am. And you try to say I'm internalized homophobic? No, bitch, you're homophobic, bitch. You don't want me to be a gay man. You want me to cut off my penis, bitch. That's what you want me to do. And that's not what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna be me, live my life, and be a man, be a provider, and be strong in his beliefs and take care of the people that he loves. That's what I'm gonna do as a man, as a gay man at that. And I think that today it's very disheartening to see these people just destroy themselves. And not all of them are not trans, or you know what I mean. But I think when it comes to this extra shit, like the bigender shit, the non-binary shit, all that kind of stuff, it's just all bullshit. It's like, people just love yourself for who you are. And I think people are going to have to find that on their own one day. But yeah, luckily for me, I escaped it. I escaped that, and I embrace who I am. And I just hope that other people do the same. And that's really my short. Well, it's not really short. I think I really touched bases on a lot of things, but that's really my little story on that, of how that non-binary gender ideology really almost destroyed me. And also with that, I think it really that made me eat a lot too. I gained a lot of weight off of that, and then watching the body positivity movement and stuff like that, and like people saying it's okay to be fat. I think that also was another social contagion that I fell through, and I thought it was okay. And that's something that almost destroyed me as well. But luckily I bounced back, bitch. Like, I'm skinny legend. I'm still fat, but I've lost so much weight, and I feel really good. And I just hope someone sees this video, and if they're struggling with their sexuality, their gender, whatever like that, that they don't have to go down the dark rabbit hole. And if you are trans, you be trans and you live your life, and you just wait till you're an adult. Make sure all you're able to grow and reach your puberty, so you don't ruin yourself. Because when you're under those hormones and stuff like that, you cannot you think allowing a child to get on hormones when it's not going to disrupt their chance of wanting to be a mother or a father one day. It will. You think that it won't disrupt their genitals. It'll keep their genitals very, very tall to make a micro penis. It won't let them be able to grow and so they can develop that. You don't think that would happen? It does happen. You people, it's all about education, and I think some people just don't know. But I'm here to tell you that that's the truth. And it's the truth that the radical left and the LGBT community doesn't want you to know. And yeah, that's my little story, and that's my little take on that. A little bit about me and how I became to be who I am. But yeah, I'm proud of who I am. I really am, being a gay homosexual man. But that's not all who I am, though. So, and that's what's important. Anyways, I thank you guys for watching my video. I love you guys so much. Like I always say, don't forget to be yourself, no one else. Like I've always said ever since I was like fucking 15. Was I 15, 14? Yeah. I love you guys so much. Be sure to come back and yeah. All right. Bye.